What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with 14 weeks of physique update of Rafel Brandao, the winner of the Arnold Classic South America this year, as well as the guy who placed top 3 at this year's Arnold Classic Ohio, which is arguably his biggest accomplishment since turning pro. So Brandao made his IFBB Pro debut back in 2017, and that was a long time ago. And if we compare his rate of progression, the rate at which he got bigger, he put on more size, especially in comparison to all these other top guys, like Nick Walker, Samson Dauda, or even Hunter Labrada for instance. All these guys got bigger way faster, and Brandao's rate of progression has been relatively slow, especially in comparison to all these above mentioned guys. But on the other hand, he made sure that his waistline remained exactly the same throughout those years. And there is absolutely no doubt in saying this, that Brandao has one of the most beautiful shape and probably one of the most aesthetic lines in the current bodybuilding circuit. I mean, he's a very tall guy, he has a very small waist, he is very balanced top to bottom. And we all know, all the Olympia competitors, they have this one goal. Their ultimate dream is to win that Mr Olympia title one day. And when one of the top judges say that this guy literally has no weak shots, that means you can legit be an Olympia title contender in the future. And that's the thing, how long it's gonna take for Brandao to be big enough in order to be in the first call out and be comparable to guys like Samson Dauda and Andrew Jacked. Well, as Coach Neil Hill said, that they need another 2 years. Which, by the way, is totally fine, because Rafel is still a very young guy. He's still in his early 30s, so he can continue to put on size in all the right areas. And I think he can be very dangerous in a few years' time. So Rafel is definitely gonna be in the top 10 at this year's Mr Olympia. So anywhere from 7th to 10th, because those spots are kinda wide open for multiple guys. But the question is, can he beat guys like monstrous, or let's say Hunter Labrada this year? Do let me know in the comments below. Rubel Mosera aka Neckzilla is absolutely crushing it for this Dubai Pro prep. So Chris Cormier pushing him and Breon Ansley, especially in these final few weeks, that is the best thing for Rubel. Breon on the other hand is quite used to that kind of beating, because Chris Cormier has been in his corner for quite some time now. And Chris Cormier is actually one of the main factors on how he is still beating guys who are 20 years younger than him. So Chris Cormier said that the fans are gonna see a much improved back on Rubel Mosera this time, especially in comparison to how he showed up at last year's Prague Pro, which was his pro debut. And that is kinda evident from all his progress and training updates that Rubel has been putting out, especially in the last couple of weeks. So Rubel might not be the most balanced guy top to bottom. I mean, we all know his physique is always gonna be bottom heavy, but that's the thing. He doesn't need to be a very balanced guy to knock out his competition. And the reason is his freaky size. He is an absolute mass monster. His size is very hard to ignore. He has very clean looking muscles, and most importantly, he has that freak factor. Plus, his conditioning gonna be even better than what we saw in Prague. Now, we won't be able to see any significant improvements regarding his shoulder width, because there hasn't been enough time for Rubel to go through a proper off-season and bring them up. Because at this point, you can say that with absolute certainty, that shoulders are genetically his weakest muscle group. So can he bring more separation on his quads for Dubai? Well, we will see, because that is gonna be a game changer for his physique. So Breon's back has to be considered one of the most complete backs in the entire IFBB Pro League right now, not just in Classic, across all the divisions in bodybuilding. I mean, the guy is so damn ripped from the back. He has so much detail, and we rarely see that. So he never backs down from work. And it is so crazy how the Classic Physique division has evolved so much since 2016, the year when Classic Physique first came onto the scene. And Breon actually placed 4th that year. And Breon has been able to evolve so much with the division. And even at the age of 44, he is still the 4th best bodybuilder on the earth in Classic. So what do you guys think? Can Breon and Rubel win their respective divisions at this upcoming Dubai Pro, which is happening in 3 weeks' time? Next up is the physique update from Goodvito, who looks to be deep in his off-season right now. So his back is gonna be the main area of focus for Vito during this entire phase, because that was one of the reasons he lost to monstrous at Detroit Pro. So Goodvito's pro debut was extremely impressive, as many of us were kinda skeptical whether those pictures that he posted on Instagram, whether that will translate on the stage or not. But the fact is, he did not disappoint, either at his pro debut, which was at the Arnold Classic Brazil, or at Detroit Pro as well, where he looked even more impressive. So Vito was easily the most conditioned guy out of the top 3 at Brazil, So this guy's hamstrings and glutes are just on a different level. So it was really close between him and Martin at Detroit Pro as far as the prejudging is concerned. But Martin was able to bring such an impressive look at the finals, and that was enough to slam the door shut on Goodvito. So Vito has some very powerful shots, like his front double bicep is off the charts. But as young as this guy is, I believe all he needs is more time to put on more thickness, more size. I mean, the guy is just 26 years old, so he just needs time to build more muscle maturity, more thickness. And the thing is, time is on his side. So his arms look really great from the front, but he lacks that same wow factor in his arms, especially in the side shots. So this is a physique that is going to be on the Olympia stage next year and for many years to come. So will he compete before this year's Mr Olympia and try to get the qualification for this year? Well, it's kinda uncertain at this point, but he might do the last Olympia qualifier that Legion Sports this year. Akim Williams also gave us a physique update at 14 weeks out of this upcoming Mr Olympia. So after setting out of the Olympia last year, Akim is finally going to be stepping back on that big stage and try to bring something similar or maybe even better than what we saw from him at this year's Arnold Classic in Ohio, especially the look that he brought at the finals. So Akim has the size. He has that insane presence on the stage, meaning he takes up a lot of space on the stage, especially when he opens up for that front double biceps or any of his front shots. Now his biggest problem is still his back double biceps, which is such a weak shot that he just loses too much ground, and that too in any kind of lineup. And the thing is, if Akim hasn't been able to improve that shot up until now in his career, there isn't going to be much difference moving forward either, because it's safe to say at this point that that is a genetic weakness. But that being said, Akim was able to beat John De La Rosa, who has a much better back than him, and also James Hollingshead and Antoine Weiland at this year's Arnold, Ohio. So the thing that matters the most for Akim is his conditioning. And he was on for both Ohio and UK, but I don't think he was at his all-time best at this year's Toronto. But still, that was good enough to get away with the win. So Akim has placed as high as top 6 at the Olympia level, but that was back in 2020. And his placings have declined since that year a lot. In fact, his last Mr. Olympia appearance, which was back in 2022, he was unable to even place at that show. So can Akim crack top 10 at this year's Mr. Olympia? They're that 14 weeks out physique updates of the former 212 Mr. Olympia, Sean Corrida, affected Keone Pearson's mindset. If only that must have motivated him to work even harder than before and bring his all-time best to the stage this year. And that is why Keone is giving the abs and the adductors the top priority, and he has been training them fasted on empty stomach. So this is the first time Keone is dealing with this sort of pressure, where he is the defining champion and everyone is gunning for him. And sure, we can all agree that he has the biggest genetic gifts out of all these guys. But Sean Corrida is also a very great bodybuilder. And Sean has been working to keep his waist as tight as he possibly can, because that is going to be a crucial factor to win back his 212 Mr. Olympia title. I do believe that an improved version of Keone Pearson, especially from the backside, that is going to be just too much for everyone out there, including Sean. So Sean is chasing a guy who has one of the best shapes in the entire pro league right now. And whenever such great genetics start working really hard, it is just game over for everyone. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.